Hello, everybody. Welcome into Sports by GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd. Today, we have a big show for you. The NBA tipped off last night. We'll go over the two big games that took place, with history taking place with LeBron James and his son, Bronny, sharing the court for the first time in a real-life NBA game. We'll also talk about the Knicks getting absolutely boat raced by the defending champion Boston Celtics, a massive trade that took place in the NFL, as well as a smaller one, and what is to come with the trade deadline rapidly approaching. And of course, it's Wednesday, so we are going to do our rookie report, our Week 7 rookie report in the NFL. But before we do that, remember, if you would like to be an even bigger part of the show than you already are, all you need to do is go to gsmcpodcast.net. Or if you are on YouTube, you can use that super chat feature. If you do either of those two things, a message should pop up on the bottom of the screen for you, me, and everybody else around the world to see. If you do have a burning question about sports, anything at all that you would like to ask, go ahead and throw that in the comments. Throw it in the chat. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. I appreciate everybody so much for sticking around, talking some sports with me here on a beautiful Wednesday, October 23rd. But like I was saying, we are going to start off our show here in the NFL talking a little bit about the massive trade that took place between the Tennessee Titans and the Kansas City Chiefs for the third season in a row. For the third season since they traded away Tyreek Hill, the Kansas City Chiefs have traded in season for a new wide receiver. We all knew this was going to happen, right? We all knew after they lost all of their wide receivers to injury, Juju Smith-Schuster to a hamstring earlier this week. Obviously, Rashee Rice, they lost earlier this season, and then they lost Hollywood Brown earlier on before the season even began. Those are their top three guys, all of them gone. Now they have to rely on wide receivers like Justin Watson, who I like Justin Watson. He's not really a wide receiver you want to have to rely on. Now they go out and they get DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans. The Titans trade DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs in exchange for a conditional 4th-round pick. The condition here is if the Chiefs, make the Super Bowl and DeAndre Hopkins plays 60% of the snaps. So this is going to change the face of the league a little bit. DeAndre Hopkins obviously is not the top 5, top 3, top 10 receiver that he was back in his prime when he was with the Texans, when he was with the Cardinals, even a couple years ago when he first joined up with the Tennessee Titans. He is not that elite number 1, you can't guard me receiver anymore, but still he has a lot of juice left. You see flashes of it with the Titans. That Titans offense just does not have what it takes to, get the ball out to its star receivers like that. He's a little older. He's looking for a ring. I'm sure he wanted out. This is a win-win for both teams. The Titans obviously are in sell tank mode, right? They also traded away linebacker Ernest Jones. Ernest Jones, who has 44 tackles on the season, 29 solo tackles, has been really good for them. They traded a 5th and a 6th round pick to the Rams to get him just a couple of months ago. Now they flip him to the Seahawks for a 4th round pick, and they get a linebacker back. So that is a huge trade. We will get to that one in a second, but they flipped their assets. They did one of those love it or list it kind of things with the houses where they buy a house, fix it up, sell it for a profit. It's what they did. They went and flipped a linebacker, right? And that's something you don't see too often. But getting back to DeAndre Hopkins here, the Titans are in sell mode. The Titans are very much in sell mode. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for an aging veteran who wants to get a ring, wants to win a Super Bowl, to spend the rest of his career on the sidelines of a team that isn't going to compete. We saw it last week. I think losing that game to the Bills without Will Levis really did put the final nail in the coffin that said, hey, we aren't going to be competing. Not that they were seriously thinking about competing, but I thought maybe if Mason Rudolph was able to show them something against the Bills, then maybe they would hold off on selling a little bit. But with the trade deadline approaching, just 2 weeks away at this point, election day, trade deadline the same day. So that's a big day here in the US. But they've made their decision. The Chiefs, on the other hand, they desperately needed a weapon, right? The Chiefs coming in here needed a weapon. They needed to go and get a guy that can help propel that offense forward. We've seen a lot of struggle from that offense recently. We've seen that offense go from one of the most terrifying in the league the last couple of years to one where Patrick Mahomes is throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. They're relying on the run game more than the pass game. This is the opposite. This is not what you expect out of a Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid-led offense. They need to get that weapon. Now, they've proven it hasn't really mattered because they've won these games, right? They're the only undefeated team left in the NFL. They've won these games, but they have yet to play a complete game of football. That defense has been elite. That defense has been, in my opinion, the best defensive unit in the entire league. And that's the reason that they're winning games. Patrick Mahomes is able to make the mistakes that he has been making, be as carefree with the ball as he has been because of how good that defense on the other side of that ball, that Steve Spagnuolo defense, has been these last couple of years. That is a luxury that most quarterbacks in Patrick Mahomes' position do not have. And I'm sure he's grateful for it. I'm sure he knows. But getting DeAndre Hopkins here can only help this team. DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to be a burner down the sideline, and they don't need him to be a burner down the sideline. They need a guy that was playing that Rashee Rice role, that Travis Kelce role, as Travis Kelce continues to age a little bit out of what his role is and not be that dominant go-to guy every single game, right? They need a guy that's going to take those skinny posts, those 5-yard slants, those quick outs. Just get those quick 0 to 10 yard catches, catch the ball, maybe make something happen after, get some yak going, but that's not the main job. The main is to get those quick throws, get the offense moving a little bit, get some confidence in the passing game, soften up the defense so they step up, and then hit them over the top with, a Mecole Hardman down the sideline or something like that, a Xavier Worthy down the sideline. Xavier Worthy is that home run hitter. They just need that guy that's going to dink and dunk and get you those medium short routes that they have been missing in this offense. Kareem Hunt has been playing great in the absence of Isaiah Pacheco these last couple of weeks. They can continue to rely on the run game. But the Chiefs need, they really do, if they want to go for a three-peat here, as good as they have been, as consistent as they have been winning, the only undefeated team, they need to get that switch flipped quickly because they cannot continue, especially in the playoff time, they can't continue to play games like this and expect to win. They faced arguably their two toughest tests of the season in weeks 1 and 2. And I think that really helped because the Ravens and the Bengals weren't ready. Not that the Bengals are that super crazy threat that a lot of people that I know I expected them to be this year, but still, the Ravens especially, you see how good they are right now. 5 winners of 5 straight games. Someone on their team has won Offensive Player of the Week in the AFC 4 straight weeks. They are looking like an unstoppable machine over there with the Ravens, but the Chiefs caught them early when they weren't quite ready, when they weren't quite in their rhythm, when Derrick Henry hadn't quite gotten all of that offense together yet. But now, if they were to play, I think that game goes a little differently. So they cannot play the way that they have been against some of these title contending teams, against some of these teams that you expect to be someone that you're going to have to go through on route to a Super Bowl. We already went through the Chiefs' schedule. They don't have too many of those games left. Maybe the Texans. But you go out and you add that extra element in the pass game, that is going to expand not only your offensive ability through the air, but also it's going to help with the run game. Right now, teams, they're not loading the box because it's Patrick Mahomes, but they feel a little more comfortable playing a slightly stronger box against the Chiefs because the pass game just is not working. They don't have that kind of weapon right now. And if they can fix that, if they can get back to what Rashee Rice was doing before he went down with his injury, and I think that's the perfect role for DeAndre Hopkins to play. I think this is going to work out great for both parties. DeAndre Hopkins wasn't very happy in Tennessee, I'm sure, not winning. He now gets a chance to get a ring. And for the Chiefs, they get a much needed weapon. This is by far the best receiver that they've traded for. By far. In 2022, they traded for Kadarius Toney, right? That one looked like it was working out, and then we all know what happened to Kadarius Toney, no longer on an NFL roster because he could not catch the ball, right? These are the things that these are the things that they need. They need that guy that's going to come in and add an extra layer of offense, add an extra oomph to that team. And I think this is a huge move. This is a great move for the Chiefs. I'm scared for the rest of the NFL. No one has been able to stop them yet, and they're only getting better. But let me know what you think of this move. I think this is great for the Chiefs. It's not going to throw them into a whole nother stratosphere, but I think this helps them immensely. Hopkins isn't all that he was, but he still has the skills to do everything that the Chiefs need him to. But we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we continue our NFL coverage. There's been some more news, some more rumors around the trade deadline. We're going to talk about some teams, some players that might get moved or might make a move. So stick around for that. We'll be right back here on Sports by GSMC Podcast Network.